There are just some things that you need to avoid doing at the airport. Some passengers maintain these bad habits when traveling, and it is just not cool or fair to other passengers. I want to call them out and challenge you to stop doing them so you can have a stress-free flight and stop driving your fellow travelers crazy. You could be ruining your own travel experience if you don't stop doing these things. I am going to be very blunt and unforgiving in this video, not out of any disrespect for you, but just to make everything clear as crystal. By the time I am done, all travelers will be mindful of the part they should play in safe, stress-free, and responsible travel. Are you ready? Now, let's begin. First and foremost, you should stop talking to other passengers too much. Yes, it is okay to meet new people, but don't overdo the incessant chatter. At the end of the day, I like a good conversation, but on a plane, I really just want to plug in my music, watch a movie, eat some food, or take a nap. Having you speak into my ear with my headphones in is not something I feel that is pleasant, nor do I want it to happen. I want to eat my stuff in peace, but I also don't want to be rude. Here's the rule. If you have headphones in, it's a no speaking policy, unless of course you drank too much and need me to watch your bag until you see how many times you can make the flap go down in the bathroom. I went on a flight one time, and the woman behind me chatted nonstop until the plane landed. It was one of the most upsetting flights I had ever taken. Don't hog the armrests. Yes, the dreaded armrest has always been a mode of contention. You never know which is yours or which is the passenger beside you. Here's my philosophy. If you have the window seat, you get one armrest. If you are in the middle, you get 1.5, and the aisle gets 1.5. The reason I say the window seat gets one is because you also have the entire ledge to lay your head on, while these other two poor souls have to fend for themselves in the space provided. Bringing your own food. So this one is a little weird because normally people bring a chicken Caesar wrap or maybe something from home. But on one occasion, I'm not kidding, someone brought smelly fish. Can you imagine that potent smell? To be fair, I was on a Caribbean airline where you can really bring anything edible as long as you try some first. But this woman whipped out some basa fillets and broccoli right next to me. Do you have any idea how bad room temperature whitefish smells? It smells horrendous and it was right next to me. Just stick to the basics and don't annoy everyone. Body odor and hygiene. Sometimes I get it. You miss your flight or it's delayed and you don't have any deodorant. But, my God, some of the smells that have entered my nostrils have been excruciating. At this point, I really do believe that airlines should have deodorant wipes in their bathrooms for those people. You thought the fish smelt bad? You should smell these people. It's like they didn't have a shower in weeks and the sweat has just built a layer of rancid smell. I'm not saying you need to smell like a bouquet, but please, please don't smell like you ate a block of cheese, washed it down with sour milk, and then ran a marathon. Following the rules. Yes, I understand that you know the rules and guidelines to follow because you may be a frequent flyer. However, there are first-time travelers that need to hear this. So please forgive me if you don't want to hear this again. Just use the timestamp in the description and skip over this. But for my first-time travelers or people who don't travel that often, I must remind you to never open the overhead compartment as the plane is landing. This isn't random. I've seen someone going for their luggage during descent. They're lucky nothing fell out or someone could have gotten hurt. Never attempt to disarm the exit doors or open them. Except, of course, in the event of an emergency evacuation. Never attempt to disable the smoke alarms. This may get you arrested. Never light a cigarette. For that matter, never strike a match or start a fire. If you are not managing your time properly, you could be in big trouble at the airport. Perhaps your connecting flight time frame was a little too tight, or maybe your morning alarm didn't go off. Whatever the reason, the occasional last-minute rush to the gate is forgivable. But if you make a habit of running late, you may want to change up your travel strategy. Standing in the check-in or security line, impatiently watching those in front of you while you dread missing your flight is stressful for you and those around you. Yeah, we can tell that you're on edge as you shift from foot to foot with heavy sighs. And think of those already on the plane that have to wait as you somehow manage to scramble to the gate just in time for the ground crew to hold the plane. Next time you're traveling, make sure to give yourself enough time to handle any unexpected surprises. If you can, arrange for a taxi or driver to pick you up ahead of time for the airport. Be sure to check traffic conditions prior to your flight. In addition, account for busy airport times. Skip the checked luggage and bring a carry-on bag with you. Check in online. You have 24 hours to do so before your flight. Never try to go to the restroom when the plane is taxiing on the gate. I know that for some, an emergency trip to the bathroom may be unavoidable. Just know that the pilot will almost certainly stop the plane, probably resulting in missing your window of opportunity and having to wait several additional minutes to get there. The one thing I have learned over the years to not do on an airplane is to drink the tap water or take ice in your drinks. This is because the area where the airline keeps the water is rarely ever cleaned, making for dangerous amounts of bacteria. Obviously, you are not drinking it on a daily basis, so you'd be okay in the long run, but it may result in some sickness in days to come. Please do not talk on your cell phone about your fear of the plane crashing before takeoff, because people near you may only hear crash and think you're discussing plans to force a crash. This is dangerous and shouldn't be taken lightly. In your close quarters, don't think for a moment that you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. There is no privacy on an airplane. Yes, you paid for a seat, but that's about it. Don't expect any special privacy treatment, even if you are traveling first class or business class. Never completely ignore others around you, but instead you think it is okay to stop abruptly while walking between gates, standing in the middle of walkways with baggage and people spread out, not looking both ways when crossing a busy walkway. I can't tell you how many times I've had a short layover and had to run to catch my plane. Folks without self-awareness or awareness of others become obstacles in these situations. Are you getting any value from this video so far? I really hope so. Now let's continue. Always respect the flight attendants. Their job is not as easy as it seems, so be mindful of how you treat them. Don't use the flight attendant call button for stupid stuff, unless you need urgent care, or like you're at the window and people next to you are in deep sleep and cannot be awakened. If you can, it is best to go to the galley where you can speak to the flight attendant privately without using the call button. Never challenge the crew. This will not give you any sort of benefits. If you're nice, they're the nicest, and if you're rude, you may get the same treatment. Don't ask the flight attendants for an upgrade because it never looks good. Don't be mad at the crew for stuff that is out of our control like weather delay. Remember that they are not paid until the door is closed, and they just want to leave as much as you do. Want to know if you should leave the airport during a layover? Well, the answer is yes in some cases. You can do so if you have a longer connection time, recommended at least 6 hours and above. Also, you will have to fulfill these questionable conditions. Does your passport allow you to enter the country, exit immigration without a visa? Or can you apply for a visa on arrival? Does your airline allow you to board the connecting flight if you exit the airport? Usually, if you exit the airport, it is considered a stopover instead of a layover, and you are liable to pay airport taxes, which have to be reflected on your ticket. Depending on airlines, the rules may vary, so I will recommend checking with your airline. You may be issued 2 separate boarding passes from your original destination to your final destination, and usually this is easier because you can exit the airport and come back using the second boarding pass. If you have a single boarding pass, then it will be more challenging as the immigration and customs will ask why your departure city is different and will refer you back to the airline counter who may charge you extra to reissue your ticket by adding in the airport taxes. You will also incur unnecessary reissue penalty fees depending on your ticket fare rules. In essence, try not to be a disrupting element at the airport. Listen to the flight attendants, airline staff, and airport security staff. Learn their guidelines and follow their rules. Hope you enjoyed this video session. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And please visit the links in the description for cheap airline flights and to grab a copy of our 2 ebooks with lots more tips, tricks, and travel hacks. You will learn some really dark secrets that the airport and airline doesn't want you to know. Pick up your copies of both ebooks if you can. Until then, bon voyage and stay safe.